this evening. We're joined by Kivutha Kibwana, Governor for Makueni County. What's your take, first of all, before we even get into the matter of the audit report, over, all this war of words we're seeing between the judiciary, the Senate, the governors, the members of county assembly. Many people see this with dismay and quite a bit of fear over the process of devolution in this country.
I think part of what is happening is really the teething problems of a new system. Although this is almost a year now, and this child of devolution is teething too much. There is a power play, a power game between, for example, the Senate and governors, between the Senate and the judiciary, Senate and sometimes the MPs and governors. And I think that people ask for positions without them understanding what was entailed in these positions.
Okay.
For example, you have senators wanting to implement projects, MCAs wanting to implement projects, but their role is oversight. So really part of it is a misunderstanding, and I think it is really important that we stick to our roles so that we start devolution well.
Okay. Let's talk about, what the president weighed into that battle and said, the governors must be accountable and they must be held to account by the members of county assembly as he is to parliament. What are your thoughts on that, considering that the relationship between you and your members of county assembly was not too rosy in the past, at which point you even were thinking of resigning?
Yes, of course, at the beginning I said if my members of the county assembly took most of the money through the budget process, because they must vote for the budget, then there would be no money to implement anything, and it would not be useful to be a governor just for the sake of being paid a salary. But I think accountability, everybody must be accountable. Every political leader, every person in the judiciary, everybody must be accountable. But it is a question of accountable to whom. All of us who are elected are accountable to the people in the first instance. Then there are institutions of accountability. For example, there are accounting officers. When I used to work in the office of the president, when we were called to account for anything, of course the president did not go to account for those things, but us officers would go in terms of the ministry of the security and so on to account with the Attorney General, and we would answer.
But you do need to work together with the county assembly, obviously, for budgets to be passed, yes, and to decide what money goes where.
That is right.
And of course that has been the subject of contention with the audit report that we've seen about over 42 million shillings that was withdrawn, and I know you've clarified that in the past. But of all these amounts that we're seeing that the audit report is mentioning, it's all for recurrent expenditure. Have there been any monies spent in your county specifically on development projects? Because we know what the auditor's report has said, and you have clarified some of those issues, but it's all on paying salaries. How much money would you say in your county has been used on development projects, and which ones?
As of now, in Makueni, 31%, actually 39% is money for development, like for the health sector. We have been building, health institutions. We have bought.
How many?
As of now, the institutions that we have supported would be like about 30 up to now. In terms of also water, one of the first things that we decided to do is to rehabilitate some of the old projects because they had fallen into disarray. Also, in terms of agriculture, we are beginning a program of sorghum planting because of our arid conditions. So we are beginning to do development projects, but I must also say that for most of the counties, we are not getting to the 30% of development because of in some of the counties like Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, they have blotted stuff which we inherited. And even the question of the 42 million, it is money that we paid from the revenue account for salaries of the employees of the county assemblies that we found there. But we were told that procedurally the county assembly should have.
To go.
But still, we had thought that the earlier appropriation by the county councils was enough, and when we were told the right thing to do, we did it. The money, was refunded when we got money back from the central government.
All right, okay. Well, thank you for making the time and also for clarifying, in your view, the allegations that were set out in the audit report. We thank you so much for making the time to be with us this evening. We've been speaking to Governor Kivutha Kibwana from Makueni County, talking about development in that county and indeed also clarifying the issues that were brought up in the audit report that was released recently.